You finally hit a milestone you've been chasing for years. You land the promotion, your business takes off, or you finally get a moment to breathe. But instead of enjoying it, your immediate, almost reflexive reaction is to ruin it. We see this exact pattern everywhere. You receive a sudden financial windfall, but you immediately find a way to blow it all on bad investments. You finally find a healthy, loving partner, and you actively start picking fights. Or you get a rare, quiet house, and instead of resting, you spend the entire afternoon consumed by a suffocating sense of anxiety. When this happens, we tend to brush it off as bad luck. We blame poor timing, difficult circumstances, or we quietly decide that we just have a fatal character flaw preventing us from being happy. But that raises a very uncomfortable question. Why do our physical bodies actively fight the exact peace, wealth, and happiness that our minds have been desperately chasing? We are all taught a very specific formula for success. If you just work incredibly hard, you will eventually escape poverty, cure your stress, and leave toxic environments behind forever. This flowchart shows the harsh reality for millions of people. You put in extreme effort, but the arrows completely bypass the reward and loop straight into exhaustion. People grind for decades and remain perpetually stuck in this heavy, draining cycle. It is easy to assume you're stuck because you lack the right connections, a better degree, or rich parents. But external resources are rarely the primary reason for this kind of permanent stagnation. The real issue is internal. We unconsciously repel success because our physical bodies operate on a specific frequency, a biological baseline, that simply cannot tolerate things going well. Hearing words like frequency or energy is easily dismissed as mystical, internet coach nonsense. But frequency is a literal biological state of your nervous system. Albert Einstein noted that everything is energy. He argued that matching the frequency of the reality you want is a straightforward matter of physics. To understand your current frequency, you have to look at your past. Growing up in a chaotic home full of yelling or facing constant low-level financial hardship physically trains your brain to expect danger at all times. This cross-section highlights the amygdala, your body's danger detector. Through repeated stress, it accepts this glowing, hypervigilant state as your baseline. Blind to context, it cannot differentiate between past trauma and a safe present. Desiring the familiar, it actively blocks incoming logic and calm. Because your biology is chemically addicted to chaos, your physical body interprets actual peace, stability, and success as a dangerous, life-threatening anomaly. This creates a deep, profound internal misalignment. Your conscious mind is busy reciting positive affirmations to attract wealth and health, but directly underneath the surface, your nervous system is constantly vibrating in survival mode, bracing for the other shoe to drop. When things get quiet, your body panics. It assumes this is the calm before a storm. So you manually seek out stress. You doom scroll for bad news, or snap at your partner, just to return your heart rate to that familiar, chaotic baseline. Living in this constant state of survival has a severe cost. Maintaining this level of hypervigilance requires a heavy expenditure of internal energy. Engaging with petty detractors or harboring old resentments causes your internal container to form aggressive cracks. Your energy rapidly spills into the dark. When your energy is constantly leaking into defense and survival, your container stays empty. You are left with absolutely zero power to build a business, nurture a relationship, or manifest the life you actually want. Resolving this mismatch requires more than logic. You have to physically teach your nervous system that high frequencies, like peace, rest, and abundance, are safe to hold. Since the amygdala prioritizes physical sensations over logical thought, we can communicate safety directly through inputs like breathwork and somatic movement. Taking deep exhales through the mouth or physically shaking and dancing dislodges stagnant stress from your muscles. These movements send an immediate, undeniable, all-clear signal directly to your nervous system. These physical actions function as a manual override. They're designed to reach in and turn off the amygdala's false alarms at the source. This radar screen illustrates a method for recalibrating your focus. Instead of sweeping for red threats, you look for micro wins. A simple meal, a quiet morning, or a beautiful house recalibrates your internal radar to highlight assets over dangers. By forcing your brain to stop scanning the horizon for what you lack, you actively build fresh neural pathways that normalize abundance. The final tool is radical self-love and strict boundaries. This requires you to preserve your energy by completely ignoring toxic environments, dropping the need to prove yourself to critics, and focusing strictly on who you are becoming in the quiet moments. This process is about stabilization, not achieving a temporary high. The goal is to hold this calm frequency day after day until your physical body accepts it as its permanent home. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Once you patch the leaks in your internal container, when your nervous system feels safe in the quiet, success stops acting like an alien invader. It finally locks in, and it stays.